Yes, this is on tolerance, and the topic of this session is Appleanzee at work. So as we proceed through the session, we'll realize why this topic and what Appleanzee means. And Nahid, can you change? So we'll start with a little bit of discussion on tolerance. Since morning you must have heard a lot of things about tolerance. What we can now do is maybe think about your name, the first letter of your name, and any word that you can relate with tolerance which starts with the same letter that your name starts with. So if I'm Pranjala, I might like to associate patience with which is, I would relate with tolerance. Asmat? Respect. Okay, and the name is? Renu. So Renu and respect, very nice. Okay.
Munira, and the word I can think of is mindful.
Okay, all right. Meera, mindful. One more. Supriya, superpowers. All right, fine. So what we'll do is, got it?
Yes. Age, Hafsa, harmony.
Okay, harmony.
Now she's thinking about Aisha with A.
Okay. No problem. We can continue thinking about it. What I can now ask you to do is that think about an object that you can relate or you think could be symbolic of tolerance in your mind. Any object. For example, if I think of tolerance, what immediately comes to my mind is a box of crayons. So think of an object that comes to your mind which is related to tolerance. Whiteboard, okay. Tolerance whiteboard. In what way?
You allow, it's a blank surface you're providing them, and then they allow you to write whatever you're coming over there. Sometimes it's all on you, you're erasing it or you're putting your points on. Same way, tolerance, we have to tolerate something. First of all, we have to grab it.
Right.
Then we have to see, understand it, and then let's, we're putting our own words. How do we come through and be okay with other words?
Okay, yeah. So it's a blank surface where you can put in anything and it makes it colorful. Very nice. What else? Any object with, yes please. Mirror. Okay. Yes, yes, mirror. Okay, white. Very true, very true. One more. Any object that comes to mind when you think of tolerance? Magic box? Yes.
You don't know actually what you expect to see or touch.
Yeah. Right. So a blank screen, magic box, and a mirror. Now we'll do some hands-on things. I have a few things in a tray. I'll give you those things, and we'll have 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, create a symbol that you could relate with tolerance. It could be anything. Okay? So maybe we'll give we can do it in pairs. And yeah, I'll pass it on. So you can pick up these things. We have about 5 minutes. Create anything that you can think of, which should be a symbol of tolerance. Yeah? Anything from here you can pick up and create something. You don't have to use all, you can just pick any one, some of them. You don't have to pick all, yeah. And the time is up. Let's stop it now. Let's stop it now. Ladies, stop it now. Yeah. Okay, so we'll take 1 minute each and quickly show our item to everybody else and say what it is and how you relate it with tolerance. Okay. Can you just get up and tell everybody? Excuse me, attention please. Now. Girls, you have to see this. You have to see this. Excuse me, ma'am. You'll have to see this. See what they've made.
The one who tolerates automatically gets a halo effect on his face, or the personality becomes like a halo effect.
Okay.
People perceive him in the same way, like an angel, just because he is so tolerant.
Okay. Have you given him a name?
Sorry?
Have you given him a name?
Mr. Tolerant?
Okay, Mr. Tolerant. All right. Very nice. Okay, the next one. There's something more you've made. You want to show this? Yes? Okay. Okay. So this is another Mr. Tolerant, his brother, his older brother. Mr. Tolerant. And why this shape?
No, the word A, which is the tolerant because of two other problems he is facing.
Okay.
All is on head.
Having challenges on his head.
Oh yeah, the
Okay.
challenges on his head.
Okay. Fine. Nice. What have you created, ma'am?
Well, we started the idea with Humpty Dumpty.
Okay.
Trying to over there, but then it becomes try to make it a scarecrow and it come up with something non-tolerant and coming out.
Humpty Dumpty with scarecrow. And how do we relate it with tolerance?
Well, it could be as Humpty Dumpty. We all know the rhymes, right? Fell down.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it might be sitting over there on a wall with little more control and following the tolerance.
Okay. All right. Fine. What about that group? What about your group? Yeah, please show it to everybody. Everyone, attention here, please.
We've actually made a puzzle. Like when you're starting from one point and end at the other point, it's like how you start your life by learning to be tolerant. So you go through a lot of failure, a lot of difficulty, and by the end you learn something. And the end is the journey throughout your life. You learn to be tolerant. That's what we planned it.
Very nice, very nice.
We made actually houses also, small houses to show creativity.
So sweet. Thank you. Yeah, the last group.
This is a Statue of Liberty. Since all the world is international, everyone's different, everyone has different choices, laws and rights. So everyone has to work together to make this world a better place.
Okay.
It's very nice. So she's chosen the earth.
Uh-huh.
This is like colors for them.
Okay.
Very creative.
What about that group? Could you create something? Oh,
Tolerance is also created peace and happiness.
okay.
Whenever you have a difficult time or sad, like something happened to you, like something might make you happy and peaceful.
All right. Fine. Thank you so much. Thanks for putting your creative juices at work. Now, I'll tell you why we have done this activity. Next one. So, when we think about tolerance, maybe we think about culture, we think about diversity. Next one. And we at Apple International School talk about Appleanzee. Now, what is Appleanzee? The next one. Here you can see that, there are different images of Appleanzee and how it was created has a story behind. So, the next one. I think you must have also done it in your schools, the School of Future. Last year we had done this project on School of Future, and our students planned and created a School of Future as they saw how the school would be 10 years hence. And while designing that School of Future, these students were talking about things like, we have a small little school garden in the backyard. So they were talking about how we will grow vegetables in that school, and there will be a pipeline from there, the vegetables will go into the cafeteria and it will be cooked there. So those kind of things were playing on their mind. And then somebody came up with a thought that maybe 10 years hence we don't know how the society will be. So how will we ensure that there is harmony in the society? How will we ensure that in our school there is harmony? People are not bullies, they don't name call people, they don't comment on each other's identity in a negative way. So somebody said that let's have a guard kind of a person, a creature who would move around in the campus, and he will ensure that he spreads tolerance and happiness and love. So how would that person be? They said we will leave it to the students. So therefrom this concept originated, and we announced it in our assembly that there is somebody by the name of Appleanzee who feeds on knowledge and shares love. So you have to give it a shape and form as per your imagination. So outside every classroom, each class students sat together and they designed their own Appleanzee. And that Appleanzee was put up outside the classroom. Previous one. So this is just one sample of that. Somebody showed this is a classroom door and you can see one Appleanzee here. So when we say it feeds on knowledge, we generally have questions there. So Appleanzee wants to know. So there would be some questions. Whoever passes by has to answer those questions if you want to enter that classroom. So therefrom this Appleanzee started, and then we thought, how do we give it a proper place in our curriculum? So we thought that maybe the co-curricular activities, that is the curriculum enrichment program that we have in our school, we will ensure that Appleanzee becomes the kind of ambassador, the kind of mascot who will run this entire curriculum enrichment program in our school. And where to start it from? But from the teachers in the first place. So the next one. So we thought that we have to have certain programs for our teachers, for our staff, the services team, which will ensure that there is a lot of respect for each other. So now we have every term there is an all hands meet that happens in our school. In that we have around 300 members in the teaching, the non-teaching, the service, the support staff, even the drivers, the nannies, the nurses, everybody becomes a part of this all hands meet. So in this all hands meet, we share ideas, we meet together, and everybody, we do some team building games, and it takes about 2 to 3 hours, but it gives everybody a feeling of respect, that they are treated in the same way in the entire school. We do run some grooming sessions also for the support staff, but this is one platform where everybody is just the same. So this all hands meet happens for all the teachers and all the non-teaching members of the staff once a term. And then we have another initiative which we have recently started. It is about the Wow Wednesdays. Now what are Wow Wednesdays? So Wow Wednesdays, every Wednesday we decide that we will try and speak in Arabic. So there are 5 terms or sentences, those are released for everybody. So they go to the parents also, and the teachers and the students, everybody tries to use those words and statements on Wednesdays. So it's called Wow Wednesday. In fact, I think about 3 months ago, Miss Greta from a KHDA, she had visited our school and she said we will start it in KHDA also. So those are the Wow Wednesdays, which again ensure that we have respect for the country where we live in, and the teachers start practicing it. Just one sample of how teachers use it. I hope you have understood me.
Yeah.
So they try and speak as much as possible to inculcate the spirit of respect for other languages. This is one sample of all hands meet. So people get together. You'll find a lot of artists in your teams. So we have the drivers who are very good singers and dancers. These are these teachers who are very good dancers as well. So they perform and just feel that we are one team together. Then apart from this, so it starts from the staff, then we do certain things on the community level, then we do certain things on a monthly level, as a monthly routine, and there is something that happens weekly. So we'll take you through what all we do in these 3 phases. I'll request Ms. Jaya to start off with how the globe trotting happens.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you very much. Now, as principal has just now told you that whatever was done for the teachers as the staff,
Now for the students, we have various activities which enrich the curriculum, not only enrich the curriculum but also help them to understand the true meaning of tolerance. We will start with the monthly Skype sessions. Now, I'm sure we all are using Skype to chat with our relatives, etc. back in our home countries. But this idea of having Skype sessions in the school really works because these children, our children, I very clearly remember an example of year 2. Now in year 2, these small little children, they Skyped with another school in Australia where these children, as well as in India, so different times at different occasions, since you see that it's a monthly activity, at for different months, they Skype with different schools or sometimes continue with the same school, and usually the theme we keep is culture, because that helps them to understand. As you know, children learn best from children. So this helps them to understand the culture of another country through their same age group. So this is how, again, a feeling of tolerance comes in, as well as they learn much better about culture. Now coming to the next part, parental partnership. I'm sure all of you in your schools have various programs running to involve the parents. We all know that parents' involvement is very, very important. But more than that, what we do that during the assemblies, we invite parents where they are given this platform and they take us through the actual. I will give you an example. Around maybe 2-3 months ago, we had an Emirati parent who came up, and usually our children know, okay, what is the symbol, which is the national bird, or the national song, or such common things about UAE. But what we had requested this parent to do was to take us a little deeper. So she had brought with her, I think I'll need your help in order to explain this, the usual way of drinking tea. We all know we use a cup saucer to drink tea. But with her, she brought, what is that called? The jug. Dala, correct. She brought that, she brought the cup, and she demonstrated to the children how do you drink tea in the Emirati way. So she was explaining to all the children that if you shake your left hand,
that means you are
yes, exactly.
more.
Yes, exactly. So she was telling us all this, telling all the children. So the children went beyond just finding out what are the national symbols of UAE. They went on to the practices which helps them to embed the culture of UAE much deeper into them. So this was one example which I gave you, but we have parent session happening quite frequently. I need to go past. The third one which you can see was the junior model unification. Now, perhaps you are running this program in your school, or your children are participating in some of these events organized by other schools, but in our school we do it for the younger ones. That's why we have called it as JMUN, Junior Model United Nation. Model United Nation, you know, usually the senior children, they become delegates, they pose as delegates of different countries, they debate over issues which are really bothering the contemporary issues as such. But here in our school, we organize it for the middle-age group children. And you will be amazed to know how these young, very young children, such young minds, they debate on topics like refugee problem, that's what we did, and then all such things, water crisis. So all such things coming from a younger mind, it is very effective because at a young age, when they are very susceptible to, making impressions, at this time when they start debating about such serious matters, it makes them much more tolerant towards the wider world. Cultural artifact. Now this is somehow related to the JMU. Here not only do the children debate over such burning issues, but we invite the different schools to make some artifacts. You can see some samples here where they have chosen some countries and they have gone much more deeper into it. They have investigated, found out, researched, explored and made the artifacts of that particular country. That helps them to understand different cultures and become much more tolerant, because in our school we have around 69 and more nationalities studying together as well as staff members, which really makes them tolerant towards each other. I will hand over to Ms. Manchas.
So, for the monthly events that we conduct, these are some internal, inter-class, inter-house, and inter-section events that happen once a month. Right from year 1 to 8. For FS they have a different program, but for year 1 to 8, children prepare, and once a month month they present a show which has one of these every month happening for various sections. So we have a large school with over 2,400 children. So things like Salilakwi, I remember this Salilakwi last time when they did, there were these students who had to speak. Salilakwi is like a monologue where one person speaks to himself in front of the audience. So there this child, he came up as a school bag. So it was thoughts of a school bag. So how the school bag came up and the school bag expressed his feelings, how he feels, how he was very proud and happy when he saw, Brad Pitt coming in, buying him for one of his kids. So he took him home and then he was very happy, children were playing with him. And then after a week, 10 days, 15 days, they started losing interest in him. So he was discarded, now he's come back from the trash bin and he's talking to them. So the spirit of tolerance remains at the core of the events like Salilakwi. Then the songs that they sing, we have once a month this kind of an event. Go back to the dances that they do, so we always keep a theme behind it. So and rhythmic aerobics, in graffiti, pantomime, radio show, all these are all revolving around a core theme. Sometimes it's positivity, sometimes it's tolerance. So we ensure that the message that goes across through all the co-curricular activities is something related to humanity, something related to respect for each other. And these are some examples of how graffiti and this one, how graffiti making happen. This is a wall that children have themselves painted. This is just a sample of radio show. So we put a screen and children sit behind and that's how they present the entire radio show. And then apart from this, then we have the weekly programs that we run in the school.
Pantomime for primary level.
Yes. Even year 2, 3, start from year 2.
So what we do is we try and bring learning of the outside world in the classroom. And for this we have various activities which are timetabled as such. It doesn't happen at random. We have made space in our timetable and all these things are incorporated on a weekly basis. Starting with music and dance, very soon you will see a live performance of some of our children performing that, as well as for gymnastics. Now what we do is that we have children from different nationalities, as I told you before that we have children from various nationalities. When they are put together, okay, and they perform, they undergo these kind of trainings as music, dance and gymnastics, they definitely come closer to each other. And they are also able, I can see that they are able to break the barriers, which sometimes maybe some families have a traditional way of living, a traditional way of thinking. So I clearly remember an example where a girl child who wanted to take part in the dance, as well as she is in our gymnastic groups, where she had some kind of problem where the parents were not very keen to send her for this. But when the parents saw that in her age group all the children are performing, they also started appreciating, and finally today she is one of our best performers in the gymnastic group. Coming to art and craft, I would give you an example where very recently when we had the UAE National Day celebrations in our school, which you all must be doing, we decided that we would sell something. We wanted to actually triangulate the entire thing, charity as well as love and respect for UAE, as well as some art and craft skills. So putting all this together in our art classes, the art teacher, she taught the children, she provided the skill to children how to create, say maybe hairbands, some prayer beads, we call it as this, something with M, the prayer beads. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that is what they created, tasbih or something.
Tasbih, okay.
Excuse me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Tasbih. So we made that, we made hairbands, we made some bracelets, all with the theme of UAE. So when this was made by the children during the art period, this was then sold, maybe we will have a picture also, it was then sold on the UAE National Day, celebration day, and all this money was donated for charity. So this is how we imbibe the spirit of tolerance in our children. Can we go back to the previous one? Now paper making is something which I just don't want to skip, because our children, they use old newspaper, discarded paper, and it's a journey, I would say, from trash to treasure. You can see some examples where our children have made paper. These are all handmade paper, and then this paper is used. This is a booklet. This paper is used with which we make bookmarks, cards, etc. And it's a practice in our school. Any guest who visits Apple International, we always give them bookmarks and cards handmade by our children. And now I think they have gone a step further. Recently I found that they have used glitter, they use dry flowers, etc. and they've started becoming more creative in making paper. Financial literacy is another program which runs in our school. Although sometimes we feel that economics is a subject which should be taught only at higher levels, we don't believe in this. So right from year 5, we have introduced financial literacy, and as you know, the social studies curriculum standards which have come from the ministry, they have one standard economics. So we started early and we teach them we give them some life skills, we teach them financial literacy properly timetabled right from year 5. So this also helps us to promote.
Can you give an example of financial literacy?
Can you give us? Yes, definitely. For example, we teach them things like how to use a credit card, the difference between credit card and debit card. So this way we tell them, we explain to them. In fact, we had done an activity with them where they were supposed to go and tell their parents. They started experimenting with their teachers. It was actually a home assignment where they were supposed to explain to their parents it is advisable to use the debit card and not the credit card. So they started it. As soon as the lesson stopped, the first teacher they met, they started. So the teachers started coming back to us to ask that did the children learn today about debit card and credit card? So this is how they become much more tolerant and they learn the life skills as well. Jewelry design, of course, as I told you during art and craft class, they are creating such things which we include in our charity endeavors. And of course, in the morning assemblies, we always have something related to tolerance, happiness, mindfulness is practiced in our school. This is how our children are becoming much more mindful of people as well as the environment. I'd like to show some.
What kind of monthly events you would like to do, and how will you reach out to the community